Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today I'm excited to be sharing with you this recent arrival. Today we're looking at a 2021 Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. Now, as you look behind the bike in that window, you can see we have a huge inventory of new motorcycles. However, it's not too often that we get a used example, especially on a 650 powered bike, and that's probably because the owners love them so much they usually are hanging on to them. But this owner had some unfortunate circumstances, had to move the bike, and he returned it to us with just over 1,200 original miles. The bike just received its first service. It's got a fresh sticker. It's ready to go. It's in great shape, and today I'll give you a quick condition overview and just a basic walk around on the bike. So a basic rundown on the Interceptor 650, if you're unfamiliar, it's powered by Enfield's 650cc gorgeous twin motor. It's producing around 47 horsepower and strikes just the perfect balance for a bike of this size and weight. The styling, of course, shares a lot of cues with its brother, the Continental 650. However, in this you have a slightly more rounded tank. You have controls that are in a slightly more comfortable position for long distance riding, and instead of those clip-on bars, you do have these nicer bars that are rising up a little bit higher to support an upright position and comfortable long-term riding. But beyond that, everything is going to be very comparable with the Continental. It's an excellent bike. The power is just right, and I am a huge fan, as are many of our customers. They rave about these bikes. They've been very reliable. The power is sent from that engine into a 6-speed transmission, and one thing that really impresses people about these bikes is the transmission experience. The clutch has a really nice release, has a great bite point, and it is a slipper clutch, so it actually helps, kind of blur the lines as you move between gears. It really makes it a smooth experience, even if you're not too precise with your clutch inputs. It's a really nice thing if you haven't experienced that before, and I'm a big fan. Then power is of course sent to this rear wheel, and as we can see, the tire in great shape on both the front and the rear, as you would expect with only 1,200 miles, but of course I'll show you anyways. The seat on this bike is the traditional bench with the diamond stitching there, and the white stitching on the rear portion. It's very nice. It's got a lot of support, sits you up a little bit higher, and again promotes that upright riding position. This is a Baker's Express finish. That's what Enfield calls this color scheme, with a nice kind of cream white on the top with that black Enfield script and that subtle gold stripe with the red on the bottom. This reminds me a lot of the old Lotus race cars that you may have seen way back when. It's a nice color scheme harking back to past racing cars and bikes. Now, of course, looking at general condition here in the rear, taking a look at the exhaust, on this side you'll see that muffler in great condition. You will see only a little bit of minor water spotting there on the chrome on the engine, but nothing too major. And here on the other side, you will notice a couple of marks on the exhaust. I actually picked this bike up from the previous owner who sold it back to us, and it was stored in a pretty tight garage, so my assumption is that something was just tight in the garage, maybe bumped into the muffler a couple of times. But as it is a used bike, one thing I always like to do is check out all of the widest points on the bike to make sure this bike has not seen the floor. So if I focus here on the mirror, as we can see, no marks there, no marks on the end of the levers or the bar ends, no marks on the lower portion of the casing on the engine there, no marks on the exhaust or the foot peg. These are all good places to look when you're looking at a used machine. And of course, just those couple dings, not even on the widest part of the muffler. As we can see there, it's fine. So my assumption is just something in the garage that was just bumping, interfering with the bike just a little bit. We'll do that same check over here on this side. I know certainly this is what I look at when I'm looking at a used bike for myself. As we can see, all those wider points presenting perfectly fine here on either side of the bike. No marks whatsoever. Couple of more things to touch on. I'll be brief. As we can see here, nice contrasted gold brake calipers. This is a bi-Brembo system, which if you extrapolate that out, it's by Brembo. So it is Brembo trickle-down technology present here in the Interceptor. Excellent braking, and as standard, they are fitted with ABS, which is just phenomenal on a bike at this price point. Same setup you'll find here in the rear. And as we're looking there, we'll see these gorgeous shocks with external reservoirs. They are adjustable, as you can see. Really a very nice setup for a bike at this price point. See that chrome gas tank cap. One thing also, really the only visible difference on this bike to a regular brand new bike are these leather wraps on the grips. Provide a bit more material to grip on there, and it adds kind of a unique sort of rustic look on the bike. I personally like the way it looks. Gauge cluster looks excellent. You can see perfectly shining, no scratches or scuffs on the gauges. Let me just fire this up for you so you can get a little preview of how it sounds. As you can see, a couple cranks and fires up without any issues whatsoever. You'll see these lights that'll go out. The ABS light will go out as soon as you start rolling. You can see just over 1,200 original miles. Idling very happily. All of your switch gear looks great. As we can see here, everything works properly as well. You do have your flasher. As we say goodbye to our customer in this gorgeous BMW. Flasher switch there works. Push to pass almost. You have your headlight, high beam, low beam selector, of course your kill switch and starter button there. And the bike is warm because I rode it up here, so let's give it a couple quick revs. You can hear that engine. Sounds really nice and smooth, and as you can see, never wavers from that idle. It's very steady. So this bike runs beautifully, and really, it's nothing more than a slightly more affordable way to get into an already, very, very well valued motorcycle. The price point on these is unbeatable, and when you find a used model that's been well cared for, it's just that much better from a value perspective. But of course, if you have any further questions related to this 21 Interceptor 650, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There you're going to find all of the relevant contact information and a high resolution detailed photo set. But thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.